Imagine waking up and, before even getting out of bed, already feeling the invisible weight of guilt. The alarm went off 10 minutes ago. The brain has already planned the entire day, but the body won't move. The mind whispers, just 5 more minutes, and without realizing it, life begins to slip through your fingers. Procrastination is the art of delaying the inevitable. It is the most sophisticated self-deception of the modern era. In the past, philosophers fought against gods and moral dilemmas. Today, we fight against a 6-inch screen. And this is just the beginning. To understand how to face procrastination, we need to confront a hard truth. It is not laziness. It is fear. It is confusion. It is excess. We live in a world where the volume of information grows faster than our ability to absorb it. We are like sailors lost in an ocean of notifications, trying to row a boat made of distractions. The path to overcoming this begins with clarity. First, understanding why we procrastinate. Then, discovering how the greatest thinkers in history faced the same dilemma, in their ancient but equivalent versions. And finally, applying these lessons in the digital age, where every touch on a phone is a trap disguised as a reward. At its core, this is a battle for attention. And whoever masters their own attention, masters their own destiny. Think about how many times you have postponed something important. Not for lack of time, but for lack of mental energy. That feeling of I'll do it later repeats itself until it becomes part of your identity. And the more you delay, the more your brain gets used to rewarding the delay. Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, therefore, is not an act but a habit. Procrastination is the opposite of that. It is the unconscious repetition of giving up, but there is a human reason behind it. The brain was not born for the modern world. It was designed to run from predators, not to manage an avalanche of emails. Each notification is like an invisible tiger. It steals your attention, your focus, and your calm. In the 21st century, the predator is the algorithm, and the prey is us. Fighting procrastination, therefore, is not just about productivity, it is about freedom. It is about regaining control of something that technology has hijacked, our presence in the now. But here comes the shock. The more we try to be productive, the more we procrastinate. The excess of methods, techniques, and hacks keeps us trapped in the cycle of paralysis. Have you ever found yourself searching how to stop procrastinating instead of actually starting something? That is the modern paradox. We seek the solution in the very source of the problem, the phone. The question is not how to do more, it is how to do less, but with meaning. But then everything starts to go wrong. Because when you try to change, your own brain fights against you, it resists, it creates excuses, it sabotages progress itself. Some people say procrastination is a sign of weakness, of lack of discipline, that willpower alone is enough to win. But science and philosophy show another truth. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, wrote 2,000 years ago, "It is not that we have little time, but that we waste much." He already saw the essential problem. The waste is not in the clock, it is in the mind. Procrastination, in fact, is a defense mechanism. When something matters too much, the fear of failure disguises itself as postponement. The rational brain says later, but the emotional one screams, "I am afraid." Today, the world feeds this fear on an industrial scale. Platforms are designed to capture what is most vulnerable in us, curiosity and the desire for approval. With each like, a small surge of dopamine makes us feel alive, even if only 4 seconds. Meanwhile, real tasks, the ones that build a life of purpose, seem too heavy, too slow, too demanding. But nothing drains more energy than the emptiness of constant distraction. The French philosopher Blaise Pascal said, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone." And ironically, we have never been so surrounded, and so alone. This is where many almost fail. The first mistake is trying to overcome procrastination with guilt. Guilt is toxic fuel. It burns fast and destroys what it touches. When you punish yourself for procrastinating, you only reinforce the cycle. Pain leads to escape. Escape leads to distraction. Distraction creates more pain. Success begins with awareness, not fighting the symptom, but understanding the trigger. Observe the moment when the impulse to delay arises. It usually comes with anxiety, fear, or boredom. If you can name the feeling, you have already begun to tame the beast. The second mistake is wanting to change everything at once. The brain hates radical changes. It resists, sabotages, and returns to comfort. The key lies in micro-victories. One good Pomodoro, one paragraph written, one workout completed. The sum of small wins creates the opposite spiral of procrastination, progress. The third mistake is believing that focus is strength. Focus is environment. You don't need more self-control, you need fewer temptations. Leaving your phone in another room is more powerful than any concentration technique. The German philosopher Nietzsche said, "The man of knowledge must be able not only to love his enemies, but also to hate his friends." In the modern context, perhaps we should hate, at least a little, our favorite apps. In the end, facing procrastination is an act of silent courage. There are no medals, no applause. It is the invisible victory of someone who decides to act even when no one is watching. And the solution is not to do more, but to remember why to do it. Epictetus, another Stoic, said, "No man is free unless he is master of himself." And to be master of yourself today is to look at a phone and choose not to touch it. To sit before a task and choose the discomfort that builds instead of the pleasure that consumes. The true overcoming of procrastination is spiritual. It is about regaining the ability to be present, to feel time passing and choose to use it with intention. Imagine, for a moment, a life where you wake up and fulfill what you promise yourself. A life where today is not postponed until tomorrow. A life where time becomes yours again. If you have made it this far, it is because you still believe you can change. And you are right. But there is an even deeper next challenge. How to maintain focus in a world that profits from your distraction. If you found this reflection powerful, wait until we explore how digital addiction is reprogramming the human brain and what to do to reverse it.